Greetings, folks. I'm Jackson Dufault, and this is a Marquette Wire special. This past week was quite the busy one for the Marquette University community with the start of the semester, among many other things. But the headline of the week would have to be President Lovell's fourth presidential address, which took place this past Wednesday. He talked about a lot of subjects, including things from Marquette's past and plans for the future. But what was the student community's response to the speech? So today I am joined by birthday boy and MUSG President Ben Dombrowski, who, as you can imagine, plays quite a significant role in the Marquette community. Ben, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. Starting off, I just want to ask you, what were your initial thoughts on the speech?
I thought it was a really cool moment. There's obviously a lot of touching moments as he was talking about all the stories and the difference makers, and I was lucky enough to be. I had my name on my seat, which I've never had before. But sitting in that front row, and when he announced the extended gift of time, I thought that was powerful. I mean, it doesn't affect me as a student, but being able to hear everyone's reactions and how emotional people got, I thought that was really cool. So I thought it was a really powerful address for a lot of people.
So now we go to a little bit of the negatives. Was there anything that you expected from the speech that perhaps maybe was not there?
Nothing immediately would come to mind. I mean, I think it was a very positive speech, and I think it would be difficult for anybody to talk about a lot of the negatives. If there's anything that I would have liked to hear more, maybe it was a little bit more about the state of the university, and I know some people like to hear the financial statistics. Some people want to hear more of the demographic statistics, like the whole Beyond Boundaries initiative that the university has, which is it's a really great initiative. Some people like to hear more stats and get more of the background behind that, and there's some really good numbers behind that I think was a missed opportunity. But overall, I thought it was a good address. And I think that if there's anything that was missing from the address, I think it was covered in a lot of the press releases that have come up since before today.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as MUSG president, of course, what do you think the current state of the university is? Is it good? Is it on the up and coming, or is it struggling a bit?
I think the state of the university, I think we're moving up. And I mean that sincerely. Like, a lot of the emphasis of yesterday's address was talking about how much people care about each other. And while that's such a very, I wouldn't say fluffy, but it is just kind of a fluffy term, like caring about each other. Being on the perspective that I've had in working with a lot of the people, the tone has always been positive, and I rarely have gotten the impression that, we should be concerned, like we should be really concerned about something. So getting to something more tangible, I think there's a lot of opportunity, and I think there's going to be a lot of students coming in. I mean, if you think about the new residence hall coming in and what that means for students, the way that I see it is that, one, it's a new residence hall, it's newer facility, and there's going to be more students in it, but the way that's designed is that it's going to be a space for students to engage more with each other and get out of their rooms. And the new 707 extension, I think, is a cool thing. But those are just extensions. And I think just the internal environment and the internal growth and the people that are working here, I don't have any concerns for the future of the university at the moment.
So with all that said, I think the theme at Marquette this year was certainly change. And Lovell mentioned a lot of accomplishments for the university this year in his speech. So in your opinion, what do you think was Marquette's biggest leap forward this year?
Definitely the diversity. I mean, that the boundary, not breaking boundaries is that was pretty significant. I mean, the growth that the university had in diversifying the student body this year in the efforts there, I think that's significant. I've been lucky enough to have a couple meetings with Dr. Cole, me and Allie, the executive vice president at MUSG. We've had a couple meetings with Dr. Cole, regular meetings, and we were talking about that and why that's so significant, because with the whole HSI initiative that the university's working for, and in the whole just idea of diversifying the student body and making sure there's a conglomerate of different ideologies and cultures. It's really going to mean a whole shift for student culture in the next so many years. And I think that's a good thing. I mean, I like the culture that we have now. It's a good culture, and I don't see the culture that we have now, but being able to have more of a diverse culture. Like, it's students that come from different backgrounds that than me. You know, I'm from St. Louis. I come from a middle-class family. I'm a white heterosexual dude. And there's a lot of people a lot like me at this university. And being able to have more people from more diverse backgrounds that are not just like me, I think that's going to be a really good thing.
So now let's go into more general things. What do you think was MUSG's general response to the speech? Like, what were they thinking? Was it like a lukewarm reception, a good reception, bad reception?
I think it was a good reception. I mean, there was a lot of positive things, and I don't think there's anything concerning coming from it. So I think it's generally positive. But there really hasn't been too much discussion since then. It was just yesterday, and our first Senate meeting is this Monday, which we're just gearing up for.
What are some things that the student government is looking forward to in 2018?
There's a lot. Right now, I'm excited about our first Senate meeting because this Monday, it's going to be kind of historic for a number of reasons. It'll be the first time Dr. Lovell has addressed student government. So he's never been invited before, and so we invited him this year. And so the first Senate meeting of 2018, Dr. Lovell will be addressing a Senate, which is historic for us. That hasn't happened in 4 years at least. But the second part is that we're also going to have a full Senate. So what that means is that every senator position is going to be filled this Monday, which we can't even remember the last time that's happened.
So I think it's safe to say that you think President Lovell is doing a pretty good job, right? I
think so. I really do think so. When I started out the address yesterday, I had opening comments, and I told that story about DeAndre who said, "I'll take care of you." And everything I said in that was legitimate. It was sincere, because that's the kind of vibe that I've had since the beginning is that I'll take care of you, and I care for students. Like, I've been in meetings where, as my job as president, I'm supposed to represent the student body, of course. And I would go in it, and I wouldn't even have to say anything before somebody in the administration or the people in that meeting are saying, "So how is that going to affect students?" So I don't even have to initiate that conversation because everybody already has it on their mind. So with Dr. Lovell, Allie and I have regular meetings about once a month, just to check in and to get his thought on things, and he wants to hear our thought on things, and just the kind of dialogue that we have between each other, and the time that he takes to set aside and hear what we have to say. And it's not always positive things. Sometimes it's us asking questions that we're curious about and we're concerned about, and he always takes it very seriously, and he cares about it. I think he's doing a really good job because he does really care. And that's the impression that I've had. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think there's anything that the administration could perhaps improve on, or Lovell's administration could perhaps improve on in the next year?
Yeah, a good example is what happened earlier on in the year with the sexual assault protests. Are you familiar with what I'm talking about?
Absolutely.
What happened there was that a series of student groups held a protest on campus, and as a result, there's this tension between the university and these students, and there's just a whole mess of things going on there. If there's anything that I think that we could have learned from that, is that there's just a need for clarification on the sake of the university, and I think that there just needs to be more communication in general, and sometimes that could be taken both ways. But in that specific scenario, I think though I know the university did reach out, I think there's a lot to learn from that, in the sake of just communicating with students and being, I don't think transparent is the best word. I think more sincere or more just more communicative and thinking about students and their communications. But that was just one example. And overall, I think the university does a good job. And even from that situation, I remember having conversations with multiple people and people like, yeah, we took note. Yeah, we're going to work on that. But I think in certain ways it's communication, especially with students, that I think the university can improve on. But in the experiences that I've had with the administration, they always want to listen. And everything MUSG has proposed, whether it's in the Senate or if it's a senator or if it's just somebody on our comm team working with somebody in the administration, they don't look down at us like kids. They talk to us and we have an adult conversation. So to summarize, I think communication can be better. But at the same time, I think the university is doing a lot of really good things right now with students and communication.
So with everything said,
yeah,
what should students look forward to the most in 2018 for Marquette?
In 2018?
Yes.
Wonderful question. What you can expect from MUSG at least is that we're working hard. Like this is the 4th day of class, and I lost sleep already because there was a lot of things that were on my mind over break that I just couldn't work on because we weren't together. And then being able to come back and me wanting to be go, let's work on these things is one thing, but being able to have an executive board and other senators and communication students in MUSG just being willing to take it on. Like the first week of school has been phenomenal. So from MUSG, at least, you can expect us to work hard until the end of my term when Allie and I are done at the end of March, and then we graduate in May. I'm really excited for MUSG and for the university. I think it's just going to keep growing. I'm not saying that to be fluffy. I really do. I think I'm really excited for where Marquette is going, and I'm sad I'm not going to be here next year to see what's going to change in 1 year.
Well, it all sounds wonderful. Ben, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching, and we appreciate your viewership, obviously. And Ben, I hope that the future of Marquette is as good as everything you're saying. So,
Thank you, man. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.